I hate it when people walk out of the theater and spoil the movie.
Wow, that movie sucked.
Motherfucker.
Netflix is known for hosting only the greatest of films, such as Cuties, Bright, and Scott Pilgrim. When they announced that Downsizing was coming to the platform, I was taken aback. This is a movie streaming platform, not a toilet. Because it's poop. This is the only movie I have ever truly hated. Even movies like The Room or Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever can be fun, even in a so bad it's good sort of way. But Downsizing is an agonizing 2 hours and 16 minutes of boredom, confusion, and wasted potential. If Matt Damon ever shrunk down to 2 inches, I would travel across the world just to step on him for making this diarrhea dookie fart. It's been nearly a decade since I've seen this so-called film, but it's lived in my head rent-free as much as I'd like to evict it. Downsizing, you owe me 7 years of rent, which is why I'm billing Matt Damon $84,697.64 for it. Initially, I was just gonna make a video warning people not to watch it when it came to Netflix, but I didn't want to watch it again. But then this stupid idiot deer asked me when I was gonna finish it.
Yay!
No, not that one.
Aw.
Yeah, her.
So, when are you going to finish it?
Never, hopefully.
Well, I mean, we should probably get this video out before it leaves Netflix.
Looks like we have until February 1st, 2024. Oh! Well, I guess we don't need to do this anymore then.
No, Inti. We're making this video. You don't understand. I need to hate Downsizing. Picture this. You're a teenager in 2017, and there's a new movie with an actor you're familiar with as the main character. You'd think it wouldn't be one of those movies that actors do to meet their quota for movies in the year, as if they don't meet it, they can get sued. You sit down to watch the movie, and you're expecting it to be good. It has the acting talents of white millionaire McGee in it. I would trust him with more than just my life. Then you sit through about 1 of 2 hours of a movie that has less substance than a Chipotle burrito bowl, and then you change the channel to something that's a bit more intellectually stimulating. Something like The Big Bang Theory. I used to watch old Sheldon when I was in high school. Please don't judge me.
Okay, fine, I'll do the video, but I'm not gonna watch this movie again. So here's the Wikipedia article for Downsizing. In the automotive industry, engine downsizing is the practice of utilizing smaller combustion engines over larger ones of the same power capacity when manufacturing vehicles.
No. That's actually interesting. Downsizing the movie stars Matt Damon, who is best known for his role in Suburbicon. And if you don't know what that is, then you're not a real fan. Please give me the badge and gun. You are fired.
Now you'd think that this movie would start with the dashing good looks of Matt Damon, but you'd be incorrect. It starts with a science guy and his million pet rats. He then injects one of these rats with slurp juice and puts it in the easy bake oven. Dear Matt Damon, do not come to the science house. I've baked an absolutely tiny rat. Just completely shrunk it up. So, climate change, huh? The ice caps are shrinking, so our solution should be to shrink too. Mr. Science Man shrank himself, his wife, and a handful of other people to prove that humans would do less environmental damage if they were tiny little bitty babies. I sure hope that shrinking wouldn't impact anyone's marriage. That would be awful. Foreshadowing is a literary device where
We learn a bit about Matt Damon, like that he's employed and has a wife. I'd say plenty of info to ensure you know that he's not a NEET. Instead of cutting to the chase and showing us more info about this tiny people thing, we have to walk with Matt Damon through his mundane life. The first scene that really matters after the Chug Jug rat incident was the high school reunion.
usually you get to see how much your high school peers have all grown up. But when a tiny glass box is carried into the reunion, you find out that Matt's friends grew down. So, Matt catches up with his height-challenged compatriot and learns about his new life. Instead of exploring the sci-fi elements of Shrunken Life, they talk about the Cheesecake Factory and student loans. Apparently when you're tiny, you can live like you're rich, which is unrealistic because there's no way anything can be both beneficial for the climate and capitalism. Matt's wife, who is a stand-up, not shallow gal, wants to live like she's rich, so they decide it's time to downsize.
like bald people, I have some great news for you. Get ready for the best part of the film. I mean, the bar is so low, you'd break your spine playing limbo with it, but my point still stands. If you were interested in the sci-fi elements advertised in the trailer, the next couple of seconds are sure to deliver.
All the soon-to-be tiny people are balded, untoothed, and if I show the next part, I'm getting demonetized. They get the chug jug and are cooked like the rat in the beginning.
And that's all you're gonna get.
Matt Damon wakes up and he's like,
I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot.
While he comes to, the nurse gives him an oversized cracker, but it's actually a normal-sized cracker, they're just tiny. If you love this gag, you only get 2 more like this, so savor it. He gets a call, and on the other line is his wife, bald like him, but not tiny. Her crackers are smaller than her.
I want to smack her upside that bald shiny head of hers and hear it make a gong sound. Anyways, that's the last of Matt Damon's wife. Our last frame of her is with 1 eyebrow and 0 dignity. It's honestly a better way to go out than Matt did.
Now come the remaining 2 good scenes in the movie. Big divorce papers!
This is so good. I love this part.
You know, I don't know, lady. Why don't you just pick a color, please?
Don't be short with me.
What did you say?
Wow, I can't wait to see how they explore the concept of them being tiny even further.
This is almost the last thing that reminds you that every single person that you see throughout the entire movie is about 2 inches tall.
They cover important parts of shrunken life, including going to the Cheesecake Factory. Why do I care that there's a tiny cheesecake factory in your tiny town? There's a normal-sized cheesecake factory in the Fashion Square Mall in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I don't have to get divorced to eat there, but it helps.
There's only one more scene that reminds you that all of the people you see from here on out are 2 inches tall, and it's a large flower that only serves to lead us to Plotville population Matt Damon.
Now, our good friend Matt Damon takes his big flower to a tiny party where he does tiny drugs and goes on a tiny trip. While we're at it, we should probably mention that activists in the third world are being shrunk down to stop them from dissenting. Shrinking is a highly technical and expensive procedure, so it makes sense that governments in poorer countries would do that to protesters, rather than icing them. You know, a rather simple procedure. At this point, Matt Damon wakes up and meets one of these shrunken protesters, who is now a maid. Remember, kids, poverty shrinks with you. Matt Damon joins her in a lovely trip to the slums of Tiny Town and plays doctor with all her friends, making one of them OD on pain pills, and it's treated like a joke. They do not address this for the rest of the movie. He busts up her prosthetic leg and then becomes the banjo to her kazooie because they haven't invented tiny wheelchairs yet. Anyway, I've seen this movie 2 times too many, and I still don't know how they ended up going from doing chores in the slums to traveling to Norway to meet Dr. Rat Slurp Juice from the beginning of this experience, but they do that. And while they're on the boat, So they make it to this tiny village in Norway, which I might remind you is not a normal-sized village, but they continue to forget that these folks are the size of a choking hazard.
Did you forget? You may have remembered since we only mentioned it a bit ago, but for us, it was about a full hour of just nothing. There's so little use of the really interesting aspect of being small that it feels dishonest. At this point, they could have cut out the "we're small people" thing altogether, and we wouldn't have lost anything. It'd still be bad, but at least the smaller runtime would have made it more bearable.
No, for real. We draw more attention to them being tiny than the film did. Also, how is their livestock small? Did they shrink the horses? Did they remove the horse's teeth? How much chug jug do you need to shrink a horse? Why did they shrink the cows? If the cows were big, they'd provide more food, but apparently I care more about this world's lore than the entire writing staff did!
It feels like the shrinking was an afterthought with how little it was used.
So, how do you think we're gonna end this final act? What's the overarching conflict? What's the climax we're getting to? Is it A, the world is on track to end, so the government is mandating that everyone shrinks? B, global warming is a lie and the shrinking program is discontinued? C, I don't know, let's hollow out a mountain and build a vault from fallout to preserve humanity? Or D, Matt Damon's ex-wife steps on him, because remember, they got divorced. Okay, time's up. The correct answer is you should have stopped watching around the 45-minute mark, or even better, never watched this movie in the first place. But the movie chose C. The movie chose C.
Matt Damon and the stereotype girl he's boinking have a disagreement on whether to go into the small rat hole to be a part of the tiny human preservation or not. Matt wants to go in, but she doesn't. There's supposed to be emotions flowing here, but I have no connection to either of these characters, and they both make me feel very hollow.
Matt initially goes in, but when he finds out that there's a 13-hour walk to the vault, he turns around and decides to go back. They play it off as a dramatic last-minute decision so he can be with the love of his life that he just met a few days ago. But I think it's just because he didn't like walking that far. Anyway, here's the last good scene of the movie. Matt Damon returns to the tiny slums and does doctor stuff, despite not being legally certified to, and he did send his first patient 6 inches under. This is supposed to seem inspirational, but I don't know why, and then the movie ends. The agony's over. The first time I saw this, I wanted my money back, despite the fact that I saw this film for free. The second time, I still wanted a refund. Matt Damon, you owe me 4 hours and 32 minutes of my life. I will send you an invoice for my hourly rate.
It feels like this movie was originally 2 separate plots haphazardly stitched together without meaning or care, and the result was a movie that left me so bored that had it not been for Indy strapping me to a chair Clockwork Orange style, I would not have finished it. If I had to rate it, I think I'd give it a broken marriage out of 10.
Downsizing is like Kangaroo Jack for grown-ups. I saw a cool trailer, but the movie was a disappointment that barely resembled the lying ad. Matt Damon stumbles through a film with a plot that just sort of happens to him. This movie fails to entertain, fails to inspire, and fails to remind you that the main character is tiny.
By the way, did you know that we were tiny this whole time?